Ngayon nandito ka na, gusto mo nang magstay here?
Wow. Nakakaintindi ka ng Tagalog talaga.
Mahirap. No style.
No style.
I love staying in the Philippines. I love being here. That's why I'm here so much. So I'm gonna be here all month, and then I'm bringing some friends back with me from the States in February, and we're gonna show them all the islands. And so my friend has a company, and he employs Filipinos through his company. He has, I think, 15 employees here in the Philippines, in Cebu and then in Manila. And so he's going to come and he's going to actually bring them all to Disney World or Disneyland in Hong Kong, and then we're going to do a tour of the Philippines because he's never been.
Please tell us something about your journey sa music. I guess you're from contest, diba?
Okay, so let's see. When I first started in music, I actually did a lot of different competitions, but not many people know about them. I did Nashville Star in Nashville, and that was the judges were Jewel, the singer, and who else? Jeffrey Steele, who wrote a bunch of songs that you guys probably know. This was like before I moved to LA, so this is 2008 maybe. And then I did America's Got Talent, but I worked for Fremantle Media before as like an assistant and stuff in casting, and so I wasn't able to go on in America's Got Talent because there was a conflict of interest because I knew too many of the people. And then after that, I did I Love OPM right here in the Philippines, and I was singing with, who was I singing with? I think I was singing with Martin and Gerard Salonga and the full orchestra for help for the hurricane or Typhoon Haiyan victims in Tacloban. And my buddy Chris Lopez was there, and I told him I sang in Kahiti Sang Sakli that night. And then he goes, "How do you sing in Tagalog? I'm Filipino and I don't even speak Tagalog that well." And I said, "You know what you guys should do? ABS-CBN should put up a TV show that has foreigners competing against each other, singing in Tagalog." And so a couple years later, they ended up doing the TV show I Love OPM. And then they asked me, said, "Would you like to be part of the show?" And I said, "I might not be able to because of scheduling." But we ended up working it out, and every other week I was coming back to the Philippines, back to the States, Philippines, States, Philippines. I was so tired.
How easy or hard for you to memorize Tagalog song?
Very hard, because
like what song?
How long did you learn that?
Like 3 days.
Wow, not bad.
Because I have to learn it and then go live on TV. 3 days. And so Ryan, sing that song. Okay. And then you go.
Where did you
hire a Filipino coach?
Yeah, so I had a bunch of, I have so many friends here that speak Tagalog, obviously, so they would help me with addiction. But the problem with singing, I sing so much in Italian and I sing a lot in English. So when you switch over to singing in Tagalog, you use a lot of the throat. Where in Italian, you don't use much of your throat. You don't use much. It's more like Tagalog is like and so it's very, very hard to sing like that when you're not trained like that. So. And the diction is so important in Tagalog, right? So if you sing something a little off, it's slang or it sounds cute or it loses the meaning. So like Kahiti Sang Saglit, it's such a meaning.
Kahiti Sang Saglit.
And so when you sing it, everything has to be pretty perfect, right? As far as the diction. And so that's what I found kind of nerve-wracking the most was making sure I could sing things like Gilu. Right? Like I had the hardest time learning how to say that word. I was like Gilu. Right? And it's a very hard word for me to say because you have to try to enunciate it.
Do you have plans to revive some of the song of Ice Segura? And what if you have?
Well, if he lets me, then I will.
So far, what is your favorite song of Ice that you want to?
I think I would like to do Pakistani. No.
Pakisabi na lang.
I'll have to get back to you with that one and figure out which one would fit the voices the best. But I'd like to do a duet.
Wow.
So I think that'd be cool to do a duet. And because songwriters and singer-songwriters, sometimes songs are very personal to them, and if they want to share maybe a little bit, I'll sing with them. But
please tell us something about your single, your Christmas single.
The Feeling of Christmas.
Yes. Yeah.
So I wrote that song a couple years ago. I was in Orange County, and I was singing at the piano, and I wanted to write something that was kind of a nice Christmas song, but it started out completely different than it ended up. And so the verses stayed somewhat the same, but the chorus is very different. The chorus originally was going to be a love Christmas song, right? I know Filipinos love love songs, and they love heartbreak songs too. But it was going to be about like two people that fell in love and how every day feels like Christmas when they wake up. It's like every day is a Christmas morning because you're sharing your life with this person. So it originally was like, the chorus went, every day with a new morning that I wake up next to you. Every day it feels like Christmas, my heart alive and dream come true. Wherever we are in this big old world, every day is Christmas with you.
How long did you compose that?
It took me like a day to do that melody and the lyrics. But yeah, I do compose. But the song's so different now than that. So I'm gonna save that chorus for another song because I think it's still a nice song. But now it's like, oh, 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 it's Christmas. So it's a little more up-tempo, a little more upbeat. I thought coming off the pandemic, I was like, I want to do something that's more, it's more up-tempo, more fun, because people have been so down in spirit, right? And so I want to lift up their spirit. So I think this song kind of lifts up the spirits a little bit. If you guys have heard it, it's a fun song and it's catchy. You know, after the one or two times you're saying, oh, 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 it's Christmas, so it's fun.
Ryan, do you think being a classically trained singer, was it difficult to shift to a more pop sounding thing?
Very hard.
Was it difficult?
It's very hard to shift from classical to pop, and because even when classical singers sing pop, it still sounds classical. Like case in point, Josh Groban.
But they made it mainstream.
They made it mainstream with a lot of marketing behind it, right? So like Groban and those guys, they have so much marketing bucks that they can throw at it, and they can talk to the radio stations, get it out there, get it popular.
Yeah.
And so, but it still has a classical feel. Like even like Groban's Christmas song, like children sleeping, snow is softly falling. That's very classical sounding to me. Where Bublé would be an easier thing to cross over. And that's when I finalized the song, I was like, maybe I should just pitch this song to Michael Bublé. Because it has kind of that Bublé vibe. And then everybody I talked to, my family included, and management, they said, no, keep that song. That's a really nice song to have in your repertoire. And later on, if you want to pitch it, then you can pitch it to him. But for now, see where it goes, just have fun with it. And so we decided to keep it. But it is hard for me to go from singing classical Bocelli style songs or like Kahit Isang Saglit to, you know, a One Direction type song.
Are you thinking of any classical song that you might think has something that will make it mainstream?
As far as a song that's already been written?
You've sung classical songs on The Voice, so...
Yeah. I think a lot of those songs are standalone songs. I do better in the classical field, like The Prayer, for instance. It's a pop classic song, but it's more, to me, the voices are more classical, and the instrumentation's more classical, and the formula. Pop song is like one, you know, it has 4 chords throughout the whole song. And so I think there's a lot of songs that stand on their own as, like Nessun Dorma, that's an opera song. It's never going to be a pop song. No matter how hard you try, people aren't going to like it as a pop song. And so in my writing, I have so many types of styles of writing. And so, like, for instance, there's a song I have that I think could be, I've sang it piano, where it's very classical, and I've sang it pop, and I think it actually sounds better when I sing it more pop. And it's like, it goes like, you don't call me baby, you don't call me love. I know I'm not your only, I probably never was. But darling, if I was, I'd give you my all is all I have. It's more of a John Legend-y thing. But if I were like, you don't call me baby,
it's more the vibrato.
It's not gonna be as good that way, because you need that feel and that intimacy when you're singing it. So
sounds good too.
Well, yeah,
Well,
it is.
right. Well, I appreciate that. Maybe we'll do 2 versions and then we'll let the public decide, right?
Ryan, aside
Any
from
chance of doing Broadway?
I would love to do some Broadway. I did a off-Broadway show in the Philippines actually with Atlantis Productions, Bobby Garcia, and Kayla Rivera, Arnel Ignacio, Yula Valdez, the Addams Family. And so I played the...
When was that?
That was, wow, that was maybe 7 years ago? 6 years ago? Siyempre! Dapat! Dapat!
Tagal mo na pala rito.
See? Adopted
You never
Filipino.
had a manager here?
I had a handler here. Gina Godinez handled me for a lot of years here. And as of late, now it's Kathy and Lisa doing the handling. And I'm still good friends with Gina.
Ryan,
She's so busy.
Who are your idols?
My idols?
Your pegs?
I'd have to say Jesus Christ. Diba?
local artist.
Among our local female.
The artist.
Oh, you haven't heard him. He has a great voice. No.
Local
The
female
artist that I
artist.
would look up to the most would be
Your inspiration.
oh
your
man,
pegs.
it's so I grew up listening to David Gates of Bread, to Frank Sinatra, to John Denver, to
Mga folk singer.
oh yes, I grew up listening to my parents' music, like Neil Diamond and all these guys, and then
Don't bring
anymore.